You know, for the longest time, Trump used to have this superpower. They used to call him the Teflon Don. Controversies that would absolutely tank any other president or politician like Obama or Clinton or Bush would just bounce off Trump like a pedestrian off a Thar in Gurgaon. Trump's controversy armor was considered basically impenetrable. Until recently.
Many people, including members of the president's base, continue to call for the release of the files after the Justice Department said that will not be happening.
A Department of Justice and FBI memo was released almost 2 weeks ago that said there was no Epstein client list and no more information would be made public.
And they say, okay, you're the president, open up the files. And now they're saying, oh, we can't open up the files. We choose not to open up the files.
Now, why is this controversial? Well, other than the fact that Jeffrey Epstein is one of the most notorious sex traffickers in the world, who apparently maintained a list of some of the most powerful people in the US and even the world. And if some of the most powerful people in the world have committed these heinous sex crimes, they should obviously be exposed and punished. It's also controversial because it was Trump and his supporters that campaigned on releasing the Epstein files in the first place.
But for years, it was Trump and some of his closest allies, including his FBI director Kash Patel and his deputy Dan Bongino, who pushed conspiracy theories about Epstein and his alleged client list. Even his own vice president saying this in 2024.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
And the president's son last summer.
How is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light?
So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator.
So it was they who made this a big deal in the first place, and now when he's been elected into power, he turns around and says, there's nothing to see here.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
He's literally saying, who cares? Well, clearly his own supporters do.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares.
And then he said this.
It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring.
Really, I mean, you have to have a very wild life to think that the insanely horrible and sordid stuff in the Epstein files is boring. One of the reasons it could be boring is if you're intimately familiar with the stuff in the Epstein files. Because this is like Pakistan saying that terrorism is boring. Yeah, because that's all you do all the time. So this controversy, unlike any other, has really stuck to Teflon Don. So much so that even when he escapes the country to try and escape this controversy, go to quaint little Scotland and play some golf and forget about his worries, this is what happens to him there.
Mr. President, was part of the rush to get this deal done to knock the Jeffrey Epstein story out?
Oh, you got to be kidding with that.
Honestly, absolute cinema. He can't escape it anywhere in the world. Even his fans are turning on him.
Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
I guess they're just so dumb, they didn't realize that if you tell everybody you have the tapes of these crimes and then you issue a memo saying you're not going to prosecute anybody for the crimes, what are you saying? I'm covering up for the perpetrators of these crimes.
And so he's basically doing what any person who's under constant scrutiny will do, which is look for distractions.
In the United States, where the White House has announced new tariff rates for dozens of countries that have not yet reached a trade deal with the United States.
U.S. President Donald Trump intensified his trade war with Canada a day ahead of his August 1st deadline for a tariff agreement.
You're gambling with World War III. I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today.
The president will be implementing tomorrow a 25% tariffs on Mexico, 25% tariffs on Canada, and a 10% tariff on China.
The president is warning that tariff rates could reach as high as 70%.
In fact, he's gone so overboard that he's now out there threatening Lesotho.
The southern African country was singled out for the highest rate back in April, 50%, baffling Lesotho officials.
I mean, seriously, what the hell did Lesotho do, man? This is literally the Mujhe Kyun Toda meme from that movie Welcome. It's like if your girlfriend asks you about why you deleted all your search history on your laptop, instead of answering her question, you go outside and start beating the shit out of homeless people. So the reason I'm giving you all this information is because I wanted to provide you with some background and important context to explain Trump's recent behavior with respect to India. Honestly, I thought he was a better businessman than this. If he really believes India is a dead economy, then why is he building and marketing a Trump Tower in a dead economy? Now, obviously, one thing that you may have realized over the last few years is that the Congress party has been so butthurt by losing election after election after election to the BJP that essentially their BJP hatred has sort of morphed into India hatred. They're now mad at Indians for not voting for them. So, in a situation where opposition parties of other countries will stand with their country and their government when facing an external threat, Indian opposition often sides with the external threat.
And Congress and Rahul Gandhi appears to echo Donald Trump's dead economy jibe against India. He says, yes, he's right. Everybody knows this except for the Prime Minister and Finance Minister. Listen to this, viewers.
Everybody knows that the Indian economy is a dead economy. I'm glad that President Trump has stated a fact. पूरी दुनिया जानती है कि इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज अ डेड इकोनॉमी और बीजेपी ने इकोनॉमी को खत्म कर दिया है.
Now the leader of the opposition party, Rahul Gandhi, is doing all this at a time when his own party members are choosing to stand with their own country.
ट्रम्प का ये कहना कि भारत और रूस की इकोनॉमी डेड है एकदम गलत बात है. भारत की इकोनॉमी डेड नहीं.
We're negotiating with many countries. The US is not the only negotiation. We are not without option. If America is completely unreasonable in their demands, we will have to go elsewhere.
We shouldn't panic immediately. These are all opening positions in a negotiation.
I mean, even Shashi Tharoor, Manish Tiwari and Rajiv Shukla can read the room, but apparently not Rahul Gandhi.
Everybody knows that the Indian economy is a dead economy.
It's like the guy just has an incredible talent for misreading the room. Like a girl could start taking her clothes off in front of him because she wants to make love to him, and he would think that she's overheating and take her to the hospital to get checked for a fever. So coming back to Trump, understanding the pressure that the Trump administration is currently under will give you a good understanding of why the Indian administration has been largely silent after Trump's threats. There are two things that the Indian administration understands very well about the USA. Number one is that the USA, whether people like it or not, is the biggest superpower in the world. And after a point, you can't really fight with them because they will win. And the second is that Trump is an extremely egocentric and unstable man. I mean, he is literally currently sending nuclear submarines near Russia's coast because the Russian Prime Minister was trolling him. This is a real piece of news. I mean, this is the level of unhinged that India is dealing with. The guy is having a manic episode. He's calling his own supporters dumb.
Today, Mr. Trump called some in his own party stupid over the controversy.
It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net.
You know, if you want people to vote for you, maybe don't insult them. Even children know this. If you want money from your parents to buy stuff, you need to butter them up. You're not going to get anything if you behave like a brat. Now, there are some people out there that are asking India to kiss Trump's ass. But let me give you a couple of examples. Because that's exactly what Bangladesh has been doing for the whole last year. And they just got slapped with 41% tariffs. India only got 25%. Pakistan sold their air bases, their minerals, and even their field marshals to the Americans and still got hit with a 19% tariff. Not much lower than what India got hit with. I'm guessing maybe the only way right now to get zero tariffs from the United States is if Modi goes to the Red Fort in front of the world's media and tells Trump to fuck off. And so currently it's difficult to gauge Trump. Countries that are picking a fight with Trump are suffering, and countries that are sucking up to Trump are suffering. India clearly is not interested in picking a fight. India is right now interested in growing its own economy, getting to a position of strength. And even after this announcement of Trump of putting 25% tariffs on India for apparently buying Russian oil, India is still not going to pick a fight. Even though it's a bit hypocritical for the United States to sanction India over buying oil from Russia, because the United States is also buying stuff from Russia right now. Regardless of that, I think the smart thing for India right now is to wait it out. In a couple of months, it's most likely going to blow over. Remember, this is the same guy that was offering to mediate the Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan a few years ago. And then, a couple of years later, when Article 370 was removed, he stood with India and said that this was an internal matter. And then a couple of years later again, this is the same guy that was supporting India's strikes against Pakistan and said that India has the right to retaliate against terrorism. So the best strategy to deal with Trump is to wait for the atmosphere to change a little bit and then down the line, throw him a bone. And I think think then things will change in favor of India again. Now look, while the Indian administration is going to keep their heads down and wait the situation out, the Indian population is under no such compulsion. And so, in the title of this video, I said Indians had been trolling and memeing the crap out of Trump. And I'm going to show you some of those memes. So Trump recently announced that he's going to help develop oil resources in Pakistan, and maybe one day Pakistan will be selling oil to India. Here's Trump when he actually tries to go find oil in Pakistan. I think the guy might have been swindled. Here's Trump when he realizes there's actually no oil in Pakistan and it's just sewage water. And after that, Trump getting angry and telling Pakistan how he's going to get oil out of Pakistan. See, Pakistan is a country that they're in a constant crisis because they don't really want to recognize who their real father is. They know that their one true father is India. And rather than recognize that father and show respect to that father, they try to find new fathers every few years. For a while, their father was Saudi Arabia. They got abused to high hell by the Saudi Arabians. Then they pivoted to the Iranians as their fathers. They got abused by the Iranians. Then they pivoted to the Turks as their fathers. And then they got abused by the Turks. And then the Chinese. And now currently they're being abused by the Chinese. And so they're now pivoting back to the Americans. Now some people are saying that Joe Biden has been vindicated. Now I want to push back on that a little bit because, to be fair, to feel feelings like vindication, you kind of have to be alive. Corpses can't really feel vindicated. Now that the announcement came that even Pakistan is going to be getting 19% tariffs from America, some people are wondering if Field Marshal Asim Munir didn't work hard enough to convince Trump. Some people are saying that Trump is so desperate for Modi to respond to him that he's threatening to consume Harpic. And finally, some people are saying that the reason Trump is so mad is because India hit a very sensitive American asset during Operation Sindoor, but they just can't prove it right now. So let me know, what do you think? Why do you think Trump imposed these tariffs on India? How do you think India should respond? What is your favorite Trump meme that has come out of India in the last few days? Let me know in the comment section down below. And how do you think this issue gets resolved between India and Trump? How should the Modi government respond? Other than that, guys, thank you for watching today's video. I will see you for the next one. And until then, stay happy, stay healthy. And to all of you, a secular pranam.